So today's session is about anger. And anger is probably one of the hardest emotions for us to deal with, if not the hardest. So anger and sadness are usually the hardest ones that people really struggle with. And as I said before, everybody feels angry sometimes. But what we need to remember about emotions, and I say this a lot, every emotion starts, every emotion ends. Every emotion starts, every emotion finishes, and we move on to another emotion. So just because we're feeling particularly angry at this moment, or any moment, doesn't necessarily mean we're going to feel angry forever. And I'm going to give you some tips on how to deal with the anger if it gets overwhelming for you, because sometimes the anger just gets so overwhelming and we don't know how to deal with it. So I'm just going to give you some hints, some tips on how you can deal with the anger. One of my favourite ones is a balloon. So what you're going to do is you're going to imagine that you're blowing all of your anger into this balloon. Okay, so all of your anger, all of your frustration, or any other negative emotion, and you're going to get rid of it, blow it all into the balloon. Off you go. So I've got all of my anger, all of my frustration, all of the things that are really annoying me at the moment inside that balloon, and all I'm simply going to do is let it go. Hit me on the head. So that is a really good activity just to get rid of your anger, okay? If you haven't got a balloon with you and you can't get to the shops at the moment to get a balloon, you can just pretend you're blowing one up. And pop it. Or you can get some pieces of paper, get some pieces of paper, write everything on that list, everything in a list that's making you angry, and just rip it up. So you're going to write it all down and just rip it up and throw it in the bin. And that's another really good way of venting your anger and getting that out of your system. Okay, and I'm going to show you some more tips. So this shows how anger can really affect us. And I want you to think about how anger affects you and your body. So you can see on this picture it says, when I'm angry, my face becomes hot and red. My body and hands sweat. I shout. My body feels tense. I feel panicky. I want to cry. My heart beats really fast. I get a tummy ache. I grip my teeth. I want to run away. I can't keep still. I breathe quickly. My hands become fists, ready to fight. And I want to think about how anger affects you. Did any of those things I read to you seem familiar? And as I said, it really is normal to feel anger, but what we want to try and do is we want to nip it. We want to stop it until it gets to the point where it takes over our body and makes us make fists ready to fight, or become hot and red, or shout. So I just want you to think for a moment about how you feel when you feel angry and where you feel it in your body. So today's meditation is to watch the balloons on the next few slides and just watch them going up and floating away. And that is how I want you to visualize your anger. Just like when I blowed up the balloon and let it go, you're just going to imagine your anger just gently floating away. Okay, so this slide, it shows, it's 3 colours to represent 3 different ways you can react when you feel angry or sad or afraid. So the red one is just to stop and do some mindful breathing. The yellow, think about all the different ways to respond. And green, try the most mindful response and see what happens. So I want you to think about a time when you were mad about something. And what we want to do is we want to bring ourselves down from the red light to the green light. Sometimes we get so mad that we can't even think clearly in the yellow light phase. That's when you do things like count to 10, talk to somebody. Maybe go out and get some fresh air or listen to some music. These feelings don't last forever. And if you feel like you're on the verge of really losing it, just try these traffic lights to calm you down. Hang up a picture of a traffic signal to remind you that whenever you need it. And you can also agree it as a family. That you're going to stop and go away to calm down anytime anyone says red light. So whenever you feel like you're losing your temper, you might feel like, I'm about to get mad. The red light is going to come on. And then you can stop and think about your behaviour and what you can do. So your task for today is to make your own traffic lights. So all you would need to do is draw 3 circles and colour them in red, yellow and green. And hang them somewhere that will remind you. And maybe talk to your family about it, what they mean. What kind of behaviour would we see for somebody to say, actually that's a red light. I think we need to try some mindful activities. Thank you very much, everybody, and I hope you've enjoyed this session. And as every other time, if you've got any feedback, Any questions, any queries, anything you'd like me to particularly cover, just speak to an adult and ask them to drop me an email, and hopefully I can meet any requests that are required. Thank you very much. Stay happy, stay safe, stay well. Lots of love.